Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here on this Friday morning. A pretty day and a pretty weekend coming up, and hope you can ready to do some outdoor activities. Our weather brought to us by Drew Pollard and Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Glad to have them aboard. Today's high is going to be 87, low 75, and water temperature is 85. That's pretty seasonal, as we talked about. Let's take a look at our river readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. On the Outdoors of Mountain Dew, we're looking at the Apalachicola. Looks in pretty good shape. It's really at a 9 foot. It's going to be a little high, but I'm a little surprised that the Choctawhatchee at Ebro, it's at 10.7. It's even higher than it was yesterday when we were talking. So it's going to be high. These rivers are just really reflective of what's going on in the outdoors. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn right here on 23rd Street. We're looking at neap tides today and neap tides tomorrow. So what that tells you, not going to be a lot of tidal flow. Let's do our fishing game times right now in this segment, because later on we'll do our fishing report. This is brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. Our times today, 4:55 a.m. to 6:55. Sounds good about now. And this evening when you get off work, 5:18 to 7:18. That'd be two 2-hour blocks that are pretty prevalent and pretty good times to go. It's going to be nice. Wind's going to be coming southeast at about 8. So looks good. Everything looks good for a good weekend. Don't forget now, tomorrow will be tonight, North Bay Haven, the auction, the charity dinner auction is tonight with guest speaker Art Kehoe. And tomorrow, we talked about it all week, about the Liberty County first annual bass tournament, the Booster Club up there. Panhandle Outdoors will be there. Looking forward to seeing some of y'all, and we'll be doing some video. So let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. This is coming up, Shark Week on the Discovery Channel. We talked about it before. It's coming up. I always get excited about it. Last few seasons it's been sort of a little goofy looking, but it's really, I still love Shark Week. I don't watch every night like I used to be glued to it back in the day, but I started thinking about, sharks and you don't want to name your dog Shark and take them to the beach and call for them. But anyway, so I looked up Shark Tracker last night. I want to share some things with you. First of all, I want to see if we have any sharks around here. That's a little app we have, and you look at here, folks. We don't have any sharks here. Look at here. There's no sharks anywhere around us. The closest shark is down there in the Keys, and this is unusual this time of year. I don't know what's going on, but usually we have some other pretty close to us. And then look up there. There are more sharks in the Northeast around Boston and New York than there are on the Gulf Coast down here. Is that weird? But as you know, most of those are the big white sharks. So I was looking at them, I got a kick out of this. I decided, well, let me look worldwide. I just want to see where all the sharks are. And I want to zoom in on one right there. I'll put it in the middle of the screen. And okay, that's one down by the west of the Key West. Okay, so I'm going to touch on it. And that's Miss May. And Miss May is a white shark. And Miss May is 10 feet and 2 inches. So hopefully Miss May will stay down that way, 10-footer. All right, then I'll go across the Atlantic. And I get a kick out of it. Here's one right in the middle of the Atlantic. He's got to be lost. I'm thinking that's a big great white. So I touch on it right here in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And that is called sawtooth. And that's a little 7-foot blue shark. Now, I really think he's lost. Okay, one more real quick shot. And here's what really got a kick out of it. Go across to Africa, Madagascar, way down there. We've got just a few of them. Okay, but check out Australia. You think they headed into Australia? That's where most of the shark bites in the world. You see why. I mean, there's a herd of them down there. So, and almost, I looked at them last night, almost every one of these are great white sharks. And they all headed toward the eastern shore. Anyway, just want to check out getting ready for Shark Week and see what's going on. And I figured you get a kick out of that. So nobody's cross our fingers, nothing going on here. I got a couple of pictures I want to share with you. Let me see. Let me pick up. Let me see. I want to start right here. Wendy's friend that she teaches with, Josie up there in Tennessee, and Josie's parents, I'll show you right here. Josie's parents, like everybody does July 4th, Wendy sent this to me. Josie's parents found over 350 shark's teeth on their Jacksonville visit last week. And of course I said, that's cool. And so I said, she of course sent a picture. That's a trip. They go to Jacksonville Beach every 4th of July, sort of like a lot of us do trips and all. But see in that bottom right-hand corner how they find these little sharks. They just a lot of shells down. Now, not on Jacksonville Beach. It's really sort of more toward the Ponte Vedra area. But a lot of shells. But that's how you find these shark's teeth, and they took pictures of them. I just thought that was cool. And you can do the same thing at a shelly place around Indian Pass and all. I don't think you found that many, but look what they did. They made, out of 350 shark's teeth, they made like a little display, and they have it Jacksonville, July 2021. And this is Wendy's best friend she teaches with. This is her parents, and Josie, the family go down there for the. But I thought that was a cool way to spend July 4th. Here's a quick idea: the deer fly helmet, an ingenious redneck, but way to work with the bugs. And see what they did? Got this sticker stuff on them, then put the blue tape on the hard hat. Look at all those yellow flies. Okay, I just thought that Man to Hell posted this. That's the thing about fear. It can only hang around until faith enters the room, then it's forced to flee. I thought that was a good saying. That was a good way to end. A good way to end the week on that saying right there. Just having strong faith and fear has to flee. I really believe that. Now, normally it would be scallop season, and I've got a couple things that reminded me. Facebook was sending pictures, and here I got this from 8 years ago. You remember it was on Facebook 8 years ago. If you remember, this is my little setup here. I've shown you how scallops grow. This is a quarter. If you just leave them alone, I was always. And fortunately, I think they listened to me. FWC said Winston Chester on Panhandle Outdoors said to put the season back, and this is what they did, because we normally open July 1st, and this is how on the far right how the scallop would look. And to give them time to grow in August on the far left, that's the way they would look. So thankfully, they really they wouldn't listen to me. They did research themselves and found that out. So that was real cool. And then. What about 9 years ago? Here's my most favorable comment. I got more comments on this in 2012 than anything I did. At this time in 2012, and this picture just popped up. In fact, this morning I saw it. I went ahead and showed it to you. So anyway, with scallop season coming up, I wanted to share those things with you. And that's the thing about it. It's going to open August 16th. And normally right now, I'd be out there this morning or just getting ready this weekend and all week long I would have been getting scallops, but they've delayed the season, and this is the only season along the whole Gulf Coast where it's delayed. I think south of us, they grow faster. I haven't talked to any research scientists and all, but I think that's sort of what they're seeing. And by the way, people ask me, have we done the triangle study? They haven't done it lately, especially last year with COVID, but they're sort of rearranging their studies of the bays and all. I don't know if it took too much manpower to do the studies and all, but haven't done them recently. I think what they told me, they were going to, at one time, they're going to just concentrate one county a year. So there's no telling when they get back up this way. But I'll keep in touch with them and let you know when they're going to do another study on St. Joe Bay. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Setting up this little video. This is cool. The Crowley family over there in Gaston County, Douglas Mack Crowley, we worked at the back together when we were this high. His cousin down here, Martha Crowley Stevens. They have a place that they go back and forth to Cape San Blas. I think they live out of Bay Point and all. But she posted it the other day. They were driving back, and like so many of us, we drive through Tyndall area. We're always looking around and all, and you see bear signs. It's just cool driving through Tyndall. It's a little desolate now, but here's what she saw. Check this out. This is Tyndall. Okay, this is Martha Crowley Stevens taking this video. They're going really slow. They're coming back from Cape. Look at there, folks. Is this some great video? This is like National Geographic quality. And she was talking about, many times they've been down there sort of like us. They haven't really seen one this close. And this is a female, and she's not really concerned. She's just looking for a hot dog or something. But look, isn't that some great video? And you can see his Tyndall. they just drove by it, and good job there. Martha Crowley Stevens, good friends with the Spival family. We'll have to get together. I'll show me some more video right there. That's good quality. Okay, now I wanted to, we were talking about, that's the Bears, and the magazines, I mentioned these the other day. I didn't really get to finish up on them, but some good articles. I don't know what happened. I got like 4 or 5 at one time. And I wanted to share some of the things with you from Florida Sportsman, also Ducks Unlimited, and the couple of articles I earmarked right here. Make sure they brought up a good point. This article right here on the kill switch or lifeline. We always call them kill switch. Have an extra one on your boat, and I thought about that's a good idea because they can get misplaced. They can break. They're not supposed to break, but they can. So this article, the whole article is having a spare kill switch somewhere in your boat. So I thought that's a good idea. And now this article right here, I read it last night, and just stop thinking about it. It says inherited weapons. Do you hunt them or you display them? Like when your granddaddy gets your granddaddy's old shotgun, and that's a good question. And I know some of y'all in the same situation. I have my dad's old .22. My nephew has my dad's old double barrel. But my dad's .22 comes from right after World War II because he was excited about it. He used to have single shots, but that was the first automatic they were coming out with, .22. So I still use it. I need to get it clean, but I just, every now and then I'll shoot something with it. And but I can see really old stuff. So you display it or do you use them? So I know some of y'all have the same thing, but same situation. But anyway, it was just some really good articles in Florida Sportsman. And let me do one more real quick. This one was, they're talking about king mackerel, and I'm going to talk about it during fishing port in a minute, but king mackerel statewide is really strong now. They're not catching all for pier right now. I was checking on that, but the king bite, the thing about the king bite, you can really get a lot of people catching them on the boat. And then they had a couple of ones, did an article on artificial reefs, and right here, talk about all these, I was looking at all the different artificial reefs, and they did it by section. I looked at the Panhandle, and I circled one right here, down here at Mexico Beach. I know you can't see it, but that's the Andy Weeks Memorial. And Andy was my old fishing buddy. We fished a lot, and he passed away suddenly a couple years ago, but the family, his wife and family did an artificial reef in his honor, and he's got it right here. So he made Florida Sportsman. I know Andy's smiling down on that. So anyway, that's some of the good stuff you can still get out of magazines. That's Florida Sportsman. One day next week I'll do the Ducks Unlimited. There's some good stuff. I read some cool stuff in it too. So I just want to share these things with you. The thing about these magazines, when you read them, same way when I was a kid, would get 1 or 2 of them, it just sort of fired me up. I wanted to go out and do outdoor stuff, and so especially sometimes during the wintertime, you can't do stuff. You read a magazine, I can't wait till springtime, and I can't wait till summertime. And so I guess that's where my love for the magazines come from. So I appreciate them. Okay. And also, something else I appreciate, you saw on yesterday's show, the friendship you make in the outdoors with different people and all. Like yesterday we did fishing with Tony Bass, but I've had, lifelong friends where we just mainly centered between friends with outdoor stuff. I know Benny Forehand and I, way back in the day, and we did a lot of stuff, and he's still one of my very closest friends. And the outdoor friends you make, they're just special because you have that common bond. And there's one word, I was trying to think of one word with the Tony Basses and the Benny Forehands and all the friends I've had in the past. And that word I think is passion. They just have a passion for the outdoors and doing those things, and especially doing them together. So I've always appreciated my outdoor friends and all the good times we've had together. I just want to throw that in. I was thinking about that last night. We're talking about the video with the red snapper. Okay, speaking of doing good things, and we always want to try to do as many good things we can for our fellow man. And every Friday we do that. And I was at Tarpon Dock last week buying some shrimp. We bought 15 pounds of shrimp for our July 4th cookout, and we had a few left, but we chowed down on them. We fed about 24, 25 people. We had a great time. I just appreciate those times too. Now. And I talked to Clay down there, and Clay, they were having, if you remember week before last and last week, the seas like this, captains are going out, but they're not bringing back boatloads like they do normally, and they were having trouble at times getting a lot of fish in there, but there was steady supply, and that's the only place you go to, the fish market, to get a steady supply, because most captains were really having trouble loading the boat and all. They just couldn't hang in there because it was just too rough, and it wasn't safe either for the crews. So, but I think it's getting back to normal. The storm is sort of went through a couple of days ago, and it's going this next week. I think going to be some great catches. So we want to share that with you for the seafood market. But getting back to Los Angeles, $25 winner. It's going to be, the first one is going to be all the way from Bayou George, Neil Werner. Okay, the second winner is going to be all the way from Defuniak Springs. How about Billy Joe Wilcox, the Wilcox family up there in Defuniak Springs? Y'all send me your addresses, and I'll mail them to you. Okay, if you don't want them, just tell me you don't want them, and I'll use them. But you need them, okay. $20 gift certificate. All the way from Deer Point Lake, Cherry Sullivan. That's Ed's better half for sure. All right, and then the winner of the other prize was a big red snapper. I always try to go to the bottom. I don't know why I do, but I always try to go to the bottom. And that winner is going to be all the way from Blountstown, Don Clemens. Haven't heard from Clemens family in a while. So we got Bayou George, Defuniak Springs, Deer Point Lake, and Blountstown, or out of town we call it Blountstown. So we're glad to have these winners. We're going to take our break and come back with our famous Friday fishing report. Okay, welcome back. Glad it was on this Friday morning. Let's get ready for our famous Friday fishing forecast, and we base that on our famous Friday reports that we get from so many different areas and all. But I do want to mention, we're talking about going scalloping in different areas and all. One of the things you can do is open right now is down here in the Stenhatchee. I'll put it right here in the middle of the screen. Stenhatchee, Horseshoe Beach, but Cedar Key is really a good place, and Crystal River, where starting at Crystal River down here, but Cedar Key. It's not as good scalloping at Cedar Key, but there's some great fishing at Cedar Key. But Stenhatchee is where a lot of folks go, right there, and that's the area. But all that's open. So, but what I told Jeff I'm getting ready to change my fish right here, my featured fish each time I do a report. That's not just done accidentally. I mean, I try to feature a fish here on what's in season, and this will be about the third or fourth week I've had the red snapper. And I'm getting ready to remove the red snapper, and while I was looking around on the floor over here, I've got all kind of fish and all. And what I would put up here now, the featured fish for next week, but it's at Studio B. I would put up the tarpon, because that's the first thing I wrote down. Folks, they're catching tarpon off the pier. I mean, they're hooking them up, and when you hook a tarpon, you just want to see them jump. If you get a tarpon to jump 3 or 4 times, that's it. I mean, that's the thrill of it, the power and the strength and the beauty of that. And if you throw them plugs, most of the time they're going to get up and throw that plug out. So, but catch them at the pier, just go out there and throw a plug. And I was talking to Scott Lindsay, was sharing some things with me. His son's a good fisherman, and he throw that plug out and just sort of let it sink. And then when they pull it up, they're going to be popping it. So, which goes along with it. That's what they'll do. They'll feed off the bottom of that stuff coming up off the bottom, and especially in samples. Tarpon is hot. Next thing I wrote down was kings. They're not catching many kings off the pier, which is understandable. They're catching them offshore, on near shore. As you get out the pass, you can go either way, east, west, and just set your trolling up outside of Shell Island or different places. But trolling is good. You can go out to Indian Pass and get out of there. And the folks down in Apalachicola are going out catching kings too. Talked to Tony Bass last night. We were getting ready for our big trip and all. We always we plan it like it's like Christmas time to us, and we're talking, and he gets steady reports from Carabel like we do. He said they're catching some really big kings this week. They've caught several in a 40-pound category out of the Carabel. So you don't think that made our blood start rushing through and we got pumped up about that. So anyway, the king's strong, really strong. Inshore, I wrote down the bayous. They've caught this week, been some nice redfish caught out of different bayous all around here in the Panhandle, and catch them on top water, catch them early. They catch them really early. What they've done. Also, the cell cats. And don't get excited. I know some of y'all don't get excited about cell cats. I do. Cell cats are good to eat, and cell cat bite has been strong, and it always has been in summertime. You're gonna catch a lot of cell cats. They're good eating. fry them up. You won't tell the difference between a cell cat and a channel cat, I promise you. The bay, now the bay watercolor, the Choctawhatchee Bay, St. Joe Bay and the San Andreas Bay system, it sort of had a reddish tint to it with all the rain we've had, the tannic acid and all. But St. Joe is fairly clear. I was looking at it this past week on July 4th. In fact, I may run down there tomorrow and do some fishing. Surf fishing, I put a big X. Surf fishing just has not been good, and you can understand everything's churning up. I planned on doing a little bit of surf fishing during the 4th, but I was gonna get up early and go, but it's just sort of sandy and all. Yes, you can catch something, but you're not gonna catch as many as you did when it's sort of a normal surf. So surf fishing is a no-no. Let's jump on fresh water. The bass fishing has been really good, especially, we've had these cool days and cloudy, overcast, and to me that's ideal fishing in the summertime. A little bit of coolness in there and overcast skies, and it's just been really good. So the brim fishing been good, and I was reading, and every time I go by one of these retention ponds, and they're all over the place now, and you understand the reason they were mandated, the retention ponds, was to catch the runoff from parking lots and highways, to catch it so you wouldn't have storm water flooding into the water systems, into the bay systems and all. So retention ponds are a great idea, and I appreciate them doing that. But there's a group of people that they're retention pond fishermen, and of course you got chain link fence around like you do on highway, you can't get in there, but a lot of these retention are holding ponds, hold fish, they hold bass and they hold brim, and you can catch them. So I want to do a series of retention pond fishing. So if you catch any fish out of any of these retention ponds, give me a call and send me the picture and all, because retention pond fishing is something that's overlooked. We've never talked about it here. On the 4,000 plus shows we've done here on Panhandle, we've never talked about retention pond fishing, but it is reality. They do catch fish out of them. I've seen pictures and all, so keep that in mind. But this best bet this weekend is hit the bay system, do some red fishing in the morning. The river system is going to be in great shape. It's falling. The river's going to be excellent for fishing. We've run out of time again. It's been a good week here on Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate all the feedback. Y'all have a great outdoor weekend. Do something good today or this weekend for your fellow man. Have a great weekend, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.